Here we have the hourly price chart for AMC Entertainment Holdings, stock ticker AMC. Here we can see that, overall the trading activity in AMC last week uh, did kind of buck some of the trends that we're seeing in the broader market. So here in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the trends that unfolded last week, try to kind of re-summarize where we stand currently, and then try to formulate a bit of a game plan here for the upcoming trading week. So as we can see here, for the most part, we did close roughly trading a bit sideways here. We're roughly we're trading in roughly in what can mostly be considered to be elevated territory here within the hourly time frame. But this trading activity to end the week last week, was a bit sideways. All that said, we did manage to close above the $5 mark. This is a level that's being watched very closely by the market. Um, there are questions about whether or not this is actually an important price level, and I would like to know what people think about this. I mean, do you really believe that the $5 price level has a special kind of importance for the market, or not? Do you think that it has psychological importance? Do you think that short sellers are more likely to step into the market if we break below the $5 mark? What exactly do you think about this $5 level? Because and I ask this because we're seeing a lot of kind of trading activity kind of oscillating above and below this level. It does kind of seem a bit as though the market can't completely make up its mind about where it wants to go. So I am curious if people think that this $5 price level is important or not. For the most part, I do think that overall the trend here is still positive. There are a lot of reasons here to be optimistic about where the price of the stock is likely to travel next. We have had a bit of a hard time breaking above $5, but it has happened, and we have seen highs posting at 573. And this was the price high that was posted on July 8th during the Monday trading session. If we remember last week, if we think about the broader market, like what actually happened here, we should remember that on Thursday there were major sell-offs in many parts of the market. That was mostly in the technology sector, but the S&P 500 sold off, the Nasdaq sold off. There was a lot of selling pressure in the Dow. And technology stocks really saw some major declines. Even the biggest names, the Mag 7 stocks. Nvidia was trading lower. Apple was trading lower. Microsoft was trading lower. There were major declines in Tesla. There were very major declines in Facebook stock, Meta stock. And some of those stocks were able to recover those gains a bit, and some of them were not. Meta, Facebook is really one example of a stock that was not able to recover those losses, and we're still trading at the lows. Apple to some extent did manage to recover most of those lows, but really I think that what we're starting to see here is a bit of a mixed market. Where we can't just rely on the S&P 500 to tell us where the direction is going to be here. I think we will need to start looking at individual stocks here going forward, and throughout the summer trading period. I don't think that stocks are just going to kind of trade in one direction or the other. But for the most part here, what I'm seeing in the AMC stock is positive. We were really looking for a turnaround after posting these lows from this would be the 25th of June back here. Where the prices of the stock came in at $4.33. We were starting to see a bit of a bullish divergence in the relative strength index. That's the indicator reading down here, this purple line down here. We were starting to see a bullish divergence here, which really means that the indicator reading is showing bullish signs that might not really be present in the share price itself. The indicator can sort of be a leading indicator and give you a signal about whether or not these things are likely to happen before the moves occur in share prices themselves. That's why it's important to look at these relative strength index readings and things like that because they can produce signals. And overall, this projection here has played out. I mean, we did call the bottom here in the lower 430s. And since then, we have taken this kind of stair step movement higher where we continue to just post higher lows and higher highs. You can say that there's a bit of a concern here because we didn't really have a strong close to the week. For example, we really didn't close at the highs. For example, we weren't closing back at this, this 573 level that was posted previously. Instead, we posted at 525. So it is a difference of 50 cents, maybe not, maybe not so significant. But in terms of chart action here, we did close inside of the moving average cluster. That's these four colorful lines here, yellow, orange, purple, and blue. And when you start trading inside of that moving average cluster, it can become difficult to get out of it. I mean, it can kind of trap prices in there, and sometimes it can you just kind of ping pong your way through there, and it can be hard to break out of that. So ultimately, I would have liked to have seen a close above this exponential moving average cluster, above these lines, and this did not happen. We saw a fairly uneventful close to the week. Um, Even though there was a lot of volatility earlier in the trading session, earlier in the week. Um, all of that said, I'm not overly concerned here because given the amount of downside trading activity that was occurring in some of these stocks, such as Facebook, Meta, um, uh, the declines that we're seeing in Amazon and AMC were nowhere near as bad as they were being seen in the rest of the market. So these quote unquote stable, Mag 7 stocks, really saw some extended volatility here, and this did not happen. With AMC, I mean, as we can see, we have maintained the uptrend here. We're continuing to stair step higher. We're continuing to post higher highs and higher lows, even under circumstances where the broader market is selling off. So I'm curious if people think that that's significant or not. Do you think that we should be watching the broader market, or do you think that AMC is kind of its own animal here? Do you think that the S&P 500 means anything, or not? I mean, I think arguments can be made on both sides, and I would be curious about what people think about that. I would also be curious to hear about what people think about where short sellers are currently, kind of maintaining their positions. As we can see here, we're continuing to move higher. So what this really means is that the stock, if you are a short seller, it means that you kind of have to keep taking a step back here, and kind of thinking about your positions at higher and higher levels. You're continuing to kind of retreat, in the war, so to speak. You're trying to, you're taking steps backward, not forward. So I am curious about what people think about where the short sellers are currently focusing their positions. I mean, if you were a short seller, for example, where would you sell the stock? I mean, where do you think is a good opportunity to start selling AMC? If you were going to do something like that, I do think it's important for bullish traders to think about the other side of the argument, and to try to plan out for where short sellers are likely kind of camping out and holding their positions. So these are some of the questions that have been raised in this last week. And here's the current market outlook for AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated, stock ticker AMC.